Studio Chess. Welcome to Think, Design, Provoke, the podcast, an intimate space where every week you receive inspiration about the fascinating world of interior design and all the benefits and effects in your lifestyle. My name is Francesca, and we will create meaningful conversations to unveil the enigmatic perception of interior design as a discipline that simply focuses on aesthetics. We will expose everything from interiors to its relationship to architecture, surroundings, history, and culture. We will challenge the misconception of interior spaces confined in architectural boundaries. We will understand that interior spaces provide the setting for human activity and are created to fulfill human desires and needs where sensory pleasures and engagement are celebrated. That is the built environment, the connection between individuals, physical spaces, experience, emotions, and its social consequences. I am your host, and I invite you to join the design conversations that will elevate your consciousness about interiors. Consciousness that will embrace the beautiful possibilities of manifesting all your senses in your space. Hello. Welcome to episode 3 of Think, Design, Provoke, the podcast. I am elated to be here with you on another Friday of valuable design conversations. First of all, I want to say thank you for your messages through social media, emails, and through the different audio platforms. I am humbled to receive your support and love through your kind words. It is an honor to have you as my loyal listener every single week. Thank you so much, and thank you again for tuning in with me to create this intimate space between us. This podcast is presented by Studio Chess Interior Architecture Design Studio. In this third episode, we are going to converse about the elements of design and its impact in interior spaces. To create spaces that satisfy the functional and aesthetic goal of a problem, it is necessary to make use of several design elements according to some basic principles. These design elements are used not only by interior designers, but by sculptors, architects, painters, graphic designers, and other visual artists. Design elements have an impact on how an interior space is perceived, executed, and used. They are always present regardless of style, location, or cultural background. Let's dive in to discover the 5 elements from which all designs are built. Form. Form is the basic shape and configuration of an object or a space. It is often the way we first distinguish one thing as being different from another. There are an infinite number of possible forms, but people most often generalize and describe forms with words such as a square, flat, linear, round, cylindrical, among other geometries. Everything possesses a form in one way or another. Forms are three-dimensional and provide a powerful tool to create order, establish mood, and coordinate the diverse components of a finished space. For example, think about the pyramid shape of the Louvre Museum in Paris, the world's largest art museum. This monumental entrance is a bold architectural shape that expands the premise, solving the problem of high traffic and circulation to accommodate the extraordinary amount of visitors the museum receives on a daily basis. Bold statement, right? Line. Line is often the starting point for all artistic expression, and it is one of the most essential elements of design. The visual length greatly exceeds any actual width or depth it may have. In other words, it always has more length than thickness. Lines are formed and perceived where one plane meets another, where edges occur, and where there is a change in material, texture, or color. Lines convey a very strong directional sense and can affect a person's feeling about a space. Points create lines, and lines create shapes. A line can be vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and even curved. Vertical lines usually connote strength, equilibrium, permanence, and a strong upward movement. Horizontal lines are generally perceived as restful and stable. Diagonal lines are dynamic and often represent movement, either upward or downward, depending on the slope of the line. Curved lines relate more to the natural world and the human body. They are graceful and suggest gentle movement. Lines can control the viewer's thoughts and emotions and lead viewers' eye through space. To enjoy a plethora of lines display, please visit Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain, an expression of a postmodernist architectural jewelry by Canadian-born American architect and designer Frank Gehry. Plane. A plane is one of the simplest spatial elements. Planes are significant components of interior design because space is typically defined by planar surfaces such as walls, ceilings, and floor. Even furniture and other objects are usually constructed of planes. Unlike lines, planes help determine the form of a space with the additional characteristics of shape, texture, color, and pattern. Because of this, planes are a major factor in determining the character of a space. A plane can be treated as a single surface with only one color and texture, or it can be subdivided like a painting with different individual applications. Keep it simple. Think about the murals you have enjoyed around your community. That plane, meaning that wall, has been used to display a graphic artwork full of color, geometry, patterns, and messages. Volume. Volume is the true three-dimensional aspect of interior design because an object with volume is clearly perceived as a spatial form having length, width, and depth. Volume is an occupied space, but what we perceive of it is its shape. Through this shape, we experience the sensation of occupied space. In architecture, the volume will be the exterior set of a building which encloses the interior space. As a user, have you experienced the use of shipping containers as a building block in homes and different types of buildings? This is an example of the power of a volume. Scale. Scale is one of the primary forces that dictate the overall feel of a room. It refers to the relative size of something as related to another element of known size. Human scale is the most common scale in which objects and spaces are judged relative to the size and form of the human body. Example of this element: the volume of a room can be compared with a person standing in the room, or the same space can be compared with a chair because it's an object that has direct relationship with a human. Light, color, pattern, and texture are elements of design, but we will converse about those in other episodes. Along with the design principles that we discussed last week, these elements are responsible for giving structure to the design process. This set of rules are in place to facilitate the journey to conceptualize and develop physical spaces into functional and visually appealing habitats. They converge and coexist to enhance the spatial outcome and magnify a beautiful user experience. In conclusion, the elements and design principles are important guidelines for creating spaces that are intuitive, easy to use, and visually attractive. The function, look, and feel of a space provoke a positive user experience and increase user engagement. If you feel identified and connected with this podcast, please join the design conversations and invite your friends and family to be part of our community. I will be here every Friday to chat with you about interesting topics within the fascinating interior design world. You cannot miss the next episode where I will talk with you about how colors impact your psychology, behavior, and emotions. If there is a specific topic that you want me to discuss, or if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me through Instagram or Facebook. Also, you can send me an email at thinkdesignprovoke@gmail.com. Please follow me on my social media platforms at StudioShes to continue the design conversation. in the episode notes, I am including the contact links for your reference. If you find value in this content, please share this episode in your social media or chats, and remember to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite audio platform. Thank you for your attention and for being on the other side. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you. I'll chat with you next Friday, and remember, everything in the built environment is by design, and you are part of it. Ciao, ciao!